Ah, welcome to another episode of Think Pieces and Conversations. This is yours truly, 8 Left Earth. We have just left an amazing weekend. We have just left an amazing weekend. As you've been knowing from the content I've been posting lately, it's all about gaming. I am a gamer, fellas. I know you guys be seeing me do the Think Pieces and Conversations thing. I get it. Whatever, right? And we talked about politics, but in the political space, I'm gonna be frank. There is no saving whatever's going on in the political space right now. So to be honest, it got boring to me, and this is really my passion. Game is my passion. And speaking of a game, we want to talk about a fighting game. I am a fighting game head, right? Pause, right? I have a passion for this. I've been around the FGC heavily since Street Fighter 4. But back in the days, we had the laundromats, we had the arcade machines in the laundromats, and we decided to go to the laundry with our grandparents, our parents, not because we wanted to wash any clothes, huh? We didn't want to go over there to wash any clothes. We went to the laundromat to play Tekken Tag. That's what we did. We went to the laundromat to play Soul Calibur. That's what we did. We went to the laundromat to play whatever Capcom versus SNK 2. That's why we did it. But when we got older, we was like, yo, you know what? We've been seeing some Evo gameplay footage. We've been seeing all these games, and we seen Daigo do this move. Yo, that looks cool to do. Let's play this. Let's try this fighting game thing out. We got to the fighting game space. We went through it, but we wanted to keep learning. We wanted to keep learning, keep losing, keep learning. Yo, we have to do that thing that Daigo did. That, what they call it, sure you can EX dash into the ult. We need to learn this, right? Ever since then, we've been hooked. But that feeling that game gave me on this episode of Think Pieces and Conversations, I think this is episode 104. But that feeling that game gave me, I only felt maybe twice after that. The feeling, when I want to describe this feeling, the feeling of, yo, I can't wait to get home. I can't wait to play this game. I can't wait to advance the things I've been learning. Yo, I've really been learning. Yo, it's mad fun playing with friends. Yo, I gotta show such and such. I gotta show B more. Yo, I gotta show Jaquan. Yo, I gotta show them this. I learned this tech, right? So you doing this. Notice the game in the background. You doing this. And you actually get good at the game. You step into the tournament scene. You buy an arcade stick. You learn an arcade stick. You really start loving this because this one video game, this one fighting game that you decided to take a chance on, showed you levels of dopamine that you have never experienced in your life before then. You have never hit a DP focus cancel into an ult until you finally did it and you felt that rush. Then you got it in a real game. Now you're addicted. You like, yo, no, this genre is the best. You learn about frame rate. You learn about this. You learn about that. This new game this weekend that I have been preaching about. When I started talking about, yo, I had a good weekend. I played another fighting game that has never made me feel the way that I felt in a very long time. This game made me feel ways that I haven't felt since the Street Fighter 4 days. The game that I had in the background, if you was watching it on YouTube, is Marvel Tokon. Marvel Tokon gives me those same feelings. Arc System Works has created something that I feel truly in my heart that this is a game that can potentially be heir to the throne. Truly in my heart, I feel like Marvel Tokon can be the heir to the throne, or make Arc System Works become the heir to the throne, the rightful next king of the fighting game. The next king of the fighting game. This game, when I was playing it for the mere 5 or 6 hours total that I had a chance to play, because I am a content creator now and I have to create content, and that may have to sacrifice a lot of time to play, but it's all good because when you're a content creator, you got to schedule your time. You're having focused time. Yo, for these 3 hours, I'm playing Marvel Tokon. So I had focused time playing this game. I had uninterrupted time playing this game. And I was spending hours in the lab. And I must confess to you right now that I never do hours in the lab. That never made sense to me. Hours in the lab is boring as hell. Any other fighting game, hours in the lab was an impossible thought. When I started doing this and I was doing the same combo 37 times, trying to figure out the routes for Magic, trying to figure out the routes for Storm, trying to figure out the routes for Iron Man, trying to figure out the routes for Danger, I didn't get bored. The thing that had interrupted my time was, yo, I gotta make sure I get off at this time because I gotta go record another video, or I gotta go take a shower before I go to bed. I gotta go brush my teeth before I go to bed. And that right there in itself, that whole process, oiling my beautiful scalp. Oiling my beautiful scalp. That takes an hour. Brushing my teeth, flossing. That takes an hour. Putting aloe on my face. Finding boxes. Okay, I got boxes. Putting on the lotion to hydrate my skin. That's why I still look so young. That's why I still look so young, right? There is no possible way that I could keep playing the game even though I'm loving Marvel Tokon. I am absolutely loving every minute of it. It's like I'm in a whole new adventure, right? The title of this episode, if you haven't realized, is Heir to the Throne. I believe that Arc System Works with this game, as long as they fix the PC problems, because I'm on PC and that was really bad. That was really bad what was going on. I couldn't stream no matches. I couldn't stream my lab experience because there was a freeze. And the Arc System Works company or Marvel Tokon or whoever's running that Twitter, they proceeded to say, yo, if your stream and your game isn't working together, you need to do this whole list of steps to get it to work. And I'm like, wait, what? This is a joke. This is laughable to me. You want me, right, to do these 12 steps so I can stream on my PC, that's not even going to guarantee that this thing will stop freezing every time when I turn OBS on. This thing will not drop to 510 frames per second when I try to stream on Discord. Right? And I'm like, first of all, this is what I think the culprit is of that, right? Because even though all those bad things, so-called, you can call it, depending on your perspective, you can call those things bad things that happened. But I was still having so much fun. I was like, yo, I don't need to stream. I got enough content. I've been working so hard. I got backlogged content that I can post. I'm going to take this time and I'm going to play the fuck out of this game. I'm going to take my time and play the fuck out of this game. Right? With no mercy. Me and my homies in the Discord, we like, yo, this game fire. Yo, this game giving us that feeling. This might be that one. We haven't really said that with this much emphasis in our fighting game lifespan to this day, right? In our fighting game lifespan to this day, our career to this day, because this can be considered a career. You creating content, or you going to tournaments, you trying to be the top guy in the tournament, you trying to actually learn this shit. You see that you want the bragging rights. You see that you want, yo, I was one of the champions over there. Yo, I was top 3 over there. Yo, I played against him. I played against Mena RD and I somehow won. And you just getting that feeling like, yo, this is a real sport. We playing with real gamers over here. In the fighting game arena, I believe in every arena, anything that's professional, you're going to run into straight savages. You're going to run into some straight monsters, like some real gamers. There's a difference between you and your homie playing and you run into a guy that's really studying the craft of the game that he's playing. He or she is studying the craft to the molecule. They're studying the craft. They're studying, the timing of hitting that button on this 23 hit combo or this 72 hit combo, of timing his backdash to make sure you whiff a button and then hit a certain button so he could get that punish. This shit gets down to the molecule when you running into those tournaments. So you got a game like Marvel Tokon coming out, which got so much depth. It has endless depth in it. It is the game that I feel, and I don't care if this is controversial or not, this is the game that I feel, and after they fix the PC errors, which I believe that they'll fix those errors. After they fix those errors, this game will completely eclipse Street Fighter 6. I'm going to say that again for the people in the background. I believe that once they fix the problems of Marvel Tokon, that this game within 6 months to a year will completely eclipse Street Fighter 6. And I said that with no hesitation. Listen to me, bro. You know what was the last time I felt this feeling? I'm going to tell you. I felt this feeling Street Fighter X Tekken. When Street Fighter X Tekken came out, this was the last time I felt that feeling. I was like, yo, this is crazy. I got all the characters that I was just playing in Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition in this game, and then they put Tekken characters in the game. Oh my God. I was like, damn, that's crazy. All right, let's play it. Boom, we start playing. We having fun, but there is noticeable issues. There were some systems in the game that didn't make any sense at all. Pandora, for example, I spoke about this before, but that was the last time that we felt this, and it failed. Right? That game had a lot of issues. It had a lot more issues than one issue. The one issue of Marvel Tokon was this is not PC optimized. And before I cut myself off, I know the culprit of that. The culprit of that is a couple things that I assume, right? I'm not going to say that I know 100% for a fact that this is the culprit, but I believe that the culprit of the game not being optimized is one, they wanted to secure the fuck out the game, right? They wanted to make the game so secure because now it's on PC. People like to crack things, quote unquote. They like to exploit things. They like to data mine things, right? They want to do that because they want to see the DLC. They want to see the surprises that no longer become surprises when things get data mined. That happened to Tekken 8. That happened to every fighting game. Shit get leaked. Mortal Kombat 1, Season 1 got leaked. They showed all the characters. They don't want leaks for this because this game holds a value that I haven't seen in a while. It has an IP of a billion trillion dollar company with billion dollar trillion dollar IP at least, because they have characters that are so valuable, that are so culture shocking, that are so such idols of the culture that when a movie drops, they pre-sale the damn movie tickets 6 months in advance. I'm talking about Doomsday. You have an IP that has characters to where when they make a movie about that characters that share the screen with other characters under that same brand, right? You have one character that's from the brand that is sharing the screen with other characters that's from the brand that make people go insane for them, to where they have to pre-sale movie tickets 6 months in advance, 5 months in advance to be exact, right? Avengers Doomsday, right? They did that for that. So with a fighting game like this, and you containing IPs all over the place, you containing superheroes, villains, iconic ones, great fighting styles, flashy, the graphics are dope, all these things are dope. They gotta protect it. They want the shock factor every time, because Marvel Rivals does that with its game. There is a shock factor. They just put out a trailer. It's like, oh damn, Cyclops is coming back. Oh man, such and such is coming back. Wow, right? We got to get back on Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals has been consistent since it came out with its audience. Yes, it fell, but it's still staying consistent with 100, 200, 300,000 people per day. They doing that per day. I don't know what it is now, but that's what it was the last time I looked. And I doubt that they went under that. So you are dropping a game. You have to protect it. All right. And I get it. Sony is the reason why this game wasn't PC optimized. You had to log into your Sony account. Peep this, right? Peep this. I want you to watch this, right? Watch this. Watch this. You had to peek. You had to sign in to your Sony account. You just bought the game on Steam, right? Picture this scenario. You bought the game on Steam, right? Bought the game on Steam. Steam tells you after you download the game, after you hit play and it launches, yo, you have to sign into your Sony account. So you're already on your Steam account, Then you gotta sign in to your Sony account. So that's 2 apps pretty much playing at one time. Because it's like a backdoor through Sony. Then you got crazy cybersecurity on the game. You got nobody can hack into the data mines. Nobody knows who's in season 1. They made sure the motherfuckers couldn't get in there. Boom. You do that, right? Your cybersecurity is crazy. Niggas gotta go through Sony through Steam because I bought the game on Steam. And you like, damn, this shit is playing at 5 frames per second. I can't play OBS because OBS gotta, I guess, may have to see the Sony app be on because you signed in. Then you gotta go through Steam, and then you gotta go through the security that the fighting game got. And it's like, yo, this is major problems because I told my homies this, and I could almost be verbatim, but I said this, yo. Me and my homie said this. Me and my homie Be More said, I said, yo, this game, all this game has to do is launch properly. That's it. I said, they have the crown. They're gonna be crowned king as long as this game can launch properly. That's all I said. One thing. That's all they gotta do. The game gotta play smooth. The netcode gotta be smooth. The frame rate gotta be smooth. There can't be no technicalities, negative technicalities in that manner. It can't be that. If it's that, it's gonna give the game a rough start. I'm still gonna play the game because I actually love the game, but that technicality would give it a rough start. So lo and behold, the calamity that I said, yo, this simple thing shouldn't happen. You should have really took care of this issue. The exact thing happens. I'm like, bro, you guys were so close to being heir to the throne, to really being the king of the fighting game, the one to bring the entire FGC together into one game in its entirety. The entire FGC will pull in from north, south, east, west, northwest, northeast, southeast, southwest. Those things will happen and will bring the entire FGC, every other game, every other person playing every other game, or at least most of them, will be flooding one game and unite under one FGC. That's the potential that I seen this doing. That's what Street Fighter 4 did. That's what Street Fighter X Tekken did for a very short amount of time. That's what some of these games really did. That was generational games that was like Marvel versus Capcom 2. We can say UMVC 3, but maybe not, because people ain't like that game. Like, it was dope, but people ain't like that game. This game fulfills a lot of prerequisites. It got quick skill. It got manual. The manual buttons are pretty good. The manual directions are pretty good. The quick skill, if you want to use that, you have that option. You can mix and match. You ain't got to pick one or the other. You playing with both the entire time. Yes, there is a skill ceiling in this game. In Marvel Tokon, there is a skill ceiling. There is a ceiling that is actually pretty high up there. It's actually got some wings on it. There's a lot of advanced techniques. There's a lot of button pressing that everything gotta be kind of perfect. Things gotta kind of be perfect. So it has all these prerequisites to be the game that unites the entire FGC. Then it fails at that. I see a lot of people talking crazy about it, and I'm like, these people's opinions don't really matter, because all it has to do is walk over this hill. This hill that Sony has. Sony has this hill up. And unfortunately, this game may have to sacrifice its data mining protections, because the health of the game is more important than having a whole bunch of surprises because people love the game so much. When they see these names that they think is gonna pop up next, they're gonna be excited. Like, they already love the game. The game has so much clout. The game has so much of a fun factor that people want to keep playing. I am so happy to be alive and well in 2026. I'm so happy to be alive in 2026. Gears E-Day is about to drop. Gears E-Day is going to take back its throne as the number one. And then Marvel Tokon is going to be the new king. It's going to be the heir to the throne, the immediate heir to the throne. It's like you got the king coming back in another genre, and you got the new prince, the one that you've seen working on the scene for a while. You've seen him since Blaze Blue. You've seen him when they did Dragon Ball Fighters. You've seen him in Guilty Gear Strive. Then they took a chance. They say, yo, let's get some of our favorite IP. Yo, let's actually call Marvel. We got enough clout. We did so crazy with Dragon Ball. Let me take a sip of this coffee real quick. You did such a great thing with Dragon Ball. You sold so many copies. You took the earth by storm. You took the entire earth by storm and you let it, you made it happen. But the online wasn't good for a very long time. You guys fumbled that, but the game still sold a lot. A lot of people still played it. A very casual game, but a very advanced game as well. You messed up, but it's cool. I looked at everybody's tweets. I was like, all right, watch this. Watch this. But that's the end of my episode, right? That's all I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about the blast that I had, and I wanted to talk about what I see for the future of the FGC, of my favorite fighting game franchise. I wanted to talk about Gears of War. That's coming very soon. That's coming next week. The beta for Gears of War is just next week, bro. The multiplayer reveal trailer, my bad. That's coming next week or this week. No, this Thursday. That's this Thursday. The multiplayer we show. Yes, it got leaked. Cool. And then we got the beta that dropped the same day as this game. The King and the Prince. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. I love y'all. I got a lot more followers. Follow the channel. Follow the Instagram. Follow the TikTok. Follow the X. Follow it all, man. We out here in thick pieces of conversations. Check me out on every podcast channel, app, whatever. My conversation is there. Let's have a conversation. Go in the comments. Let me know what you think, man. If you're a fighting game genre player, salute to you. Welcome to the podcast. We talk about a lot of things. And stay tuned for the next one, man. I'm out of here.